Hey, good morning. Hey, my name is Nathan McCrae, and I really briefly wanted to talk to you guys just about reality. I think everything starts with reality, with us being real with ourselves. If we're not going to be real with ourselves, about our current situations, then our life is just being lived as what they call a facade or fake, not real, fictional. You take your pick and which one you want to use. But um, but guys, the one person that we have to be real with is ourselves. If we're not real with ourselves, then we can't trust ourselves, right? So we go out and we live these lives that look very glamorous on the outside, but on the inside we're in shambles. Guys, everything in life happens, everything that lasts in life happens on the internal. Okay. When we start on the inside, things blossom to the outside. The old saying is, you get out what you put in. So if you put in what you want to get out, then you can't lose, right? So we start on the inside. But how do we get to that point? The way we get to that point is by being real with ourselves. And it's what I like to call really paying attention to the man in the mirror, or on my past videos, I may have said the man in the mirror reckoning. Call it what you want to call it, but when you stand there and you look in that mirror, you only see yourself. Unless someone else is standing behind you, uh, you only see yourself. So when you look in the mirror every day, every morning, every night, whenever you come home, whenever you're brushing your teeth, doing your hair, you should have a conversation with that person you see in the mirror. And that person that's in the mirror is not going to talk back. It's not. That person is just going to tell you stuff. And it's not even going to be verbal. It's going to be subliminal. It's basically going to be, I know what I'm doing is not right. I know what I'm doing is not good. I know what I'm doing is not prosperous. I know what I'm doing is not putting me on the path or the journey or the path that I want to take to getting where I want to be in life. So let's talk about the path that you're on. If you're on a path and that path isn't causing you to be profitable, then you need a new path, right? I mean, if the road is bumpy, find a new road. So how do we do that? So, or even why? We do it because we're unhappy, but we don't know it. But the man in the mirror is going to tell you exactly why you're unhappy. All right. So how do we get to the point to where we start doing what we need to be doing? Guys, there are a few things that we have to do. First of all, we have to start listening to the man in the mirror or the woman in the mirror. All right, guys, there are a ton of people that are watching this video right now, or that will watch this video, and they don't listen to themselves. And sometimes when we listen to ourselves, it's just a bad version of ourselves giving bad information. So I talked about what we put in internally comes out externally. So if we're not developing ourselves internally, then the only thing that's going to come out is foolishness, right? So when you're talking to the man in the mirror and you hear him telling you, do this and do that, that's just one foolish person talking to another foolish person. So you don't know what's going on, so you can't do it. So you're telling yourself bad information. So sow into yourself, read, grow, and you'll start telling yourselves the right thing to do. So how do we do that? There's a few things we have to do. We first of all have to. The first step is to get in the mirror. Okay, look at the man and say, okay, what do I need to do? And that if you're focusing on what you put in, then it'll come out. So here we go. The first thing you do is you need to get you a book. Okay? I don't care what kind of book it is. I don't care if it's big, small, little. I would recommend getting something with some pages to it. Okay? And when you get something with some pages in it, you got a lot of room to write down whatever you want to write down. So once you get your book, guys, that book, this book goes with you everywhere. I mean, everywhere you go, this book goes. simply because you never know when you're going to be given a nugget that you want to write down. It's no shame to pull out your book in public and write something down because you will forget it. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. But that's what I started doing. I write everything down. I ask myself, in my book here, I say, what's my grind? Realistically, what is my grind? You know, um, um, what do I want to, what do I want to be in the next 5 years? What do I want to be in the next year? I write down all of my thoughts that I have from day to day, from hour to hour, whenever they hit me. So I just whip my book out and write down those thoughts. So once we write those thoughts down, guys, we have to put some action to what we wrote down. Now, speaking of action, let's jump over real quick and let's talk about something that's very near and dear to my heart. It's kind of what my grind is right now. Understanding how to transition from jobpreneur to entrepreneur, full time, full fledged. If we, if I transition right, because I'm working a job right now, but as I'm working that job, I'm also working on my dream. And as I'm working on my dream, I'm figuring out slowly how I'm transitioning from jobpreneur to entrepreneur, and I'm opening up my mindset. I'm actually resetting my mindset. And once I get there, guys, I can close the book on this one. I'm no longer a jobpreneur. Now, a lot of you are saying, what the heck is a jobpreneur? Well, jobpreneur is not a word yet. All right. But a jobpreneur is somebody that works a job for capital. All right. He gets paid for what he does. He works a job, but he has aspirations to build his own enterprise. Well, there's a person that's not a jobpreneur. You just have a job. You work there. You want to fly high in that company. You want to, all you want to do is just work that job. You don't have any aspirations to do anything else on your own. You don't want to build your own enterprise. The definition of an entrepreneur is anybody that starts and maintains an enterprise. All right. So reality is the entrepreneur that started the business that you have a job in right now, they started their own enterprise and gave you a job. All right. So why shouldn't you do the same? They may have had that transition period as well. So as we transition from jobpreneur to entrepreneur, we say, how do we do that? We don't just up and quit our job. I said that in the last video. We don't just up and quit our job. We pretty much have to say, how do I build this while I'm still working? Because I don't want to be stupid and I don't want to quit my job and I don't have any money coming in to help me build my enterprise. So we basically take where we are and we start doing our planning. We start doing our legwork, our research. We start trying to understand, what is it that I want to do? How do I do this? So as we're doing all of our research, we're working that job. We're still making money. All right. And as we're making that money, we're slowly putting that money into our own enterprise, building it. Now we don't want to get on the jet boat right now, guys. Right now we're at the crawl stage. All right. There are phases to this thing. So we're at the crawl stage. We crawl, we do our research. We don't have to broadcast it to everybody and their mama. All right. We're broadcasting, we're doing our research, we're we're broadcasting to the man in the mirror, not everybody around us, but we're doing our planning, we're doing our research. Companies go through this every day. It's called planning and marketing and development. All right. So once they do the planning and development, they basically bust out of the box with what they want to do. All right. That should be you. All right. So on my next video, I'm going to go into a little bit about how we plan and how we do that. All right. So stay tuned. See you guys on the next video.